Okay, greetings everyone, this is First Centurion 753 with a new series in Geopolitical Simulator 4. This was a request on the live stream last weekend, and this got the most votes, so we're going to go ahead and start a new series of a free and democratic Korea, North Korea. I'm not sure if other people have played this before. I think someone may have a series like this somewhere out there. I have never seen it. But I've been taking a look at this series. I am playing with the 2017 add-on, supposedly, although I can't find where the global happiness index is. I wasn't able to find that anywhere, so maybe I didn't upload it properly. I don't know. I can't really tell if I'm actually playing with it or not. There's a whole bunch of other things that I looked at that I forget exactly what they were. One thing that supposedly is in this new 2017 add-on is the fact that the leader can switch parties. Maybe I can look up that here. And maybe even start their own party. I don't see that anywhere here. Maybe I'm not playing with the add-on. I don't know. I just downloaded it and I paid for it, so it should be here somewhere. Country? No. I don't know where it is. There should be something somewhere. I guess we'll just have to... My party. Launch fundraising campaign. Political party. I guess there are no other parties, but there probably should be something somewhere where I could create my own party, right? Anyways, one step that I need to do right off the bat is launch a fundraising campaign. Investment budget, campaign costs, that seems pretty cheap. Last campaign run, none. Fundraising campaign for political party will be most effective when running during an election period. Okay, well, we'll see what we can do, see if we can get some money out of this outside the election period. Alright, North Korea only has one political party. It is the Radical Red League. The Radical Red League. Okay. The parliament has 687 seats, and they are filled with Radical Reds. Legislation. Okay. I am gonna... Ooh, I do have to switch this, don't I? Alright. Now, I did a couple playthroughs, and North Korea is very difficult. It's a very difficult country to do. There's not a lot... There's certain things that you cannot do in North Korea, or you will get overthrown by the Radical Reds. In particular, the one Radical Red leader likes to overthrow you, and Party of Power, here we go. This guy right here is a bad guy. He is somebody who's out to get you. He likes you right now. And actually, I think every politician does like you to start, so you're at a good position to start. However, this guy will overthrow you if you overstep your bounds. You have to really stick to party policy in this game, or they will overthrow you. And I tried to look at this guy for like investigations. There's no scandals. He is tolerant of alcohol, so I can give him drinks, but no scandals for this guy. And moral character, well, moral character is horrible, so I guess I could bribe him. I think he has pretty good security too. I tried to surveil him, I think, and I think it was a tough one. Loyalty to head of state. That's not bad. 70. That's not bad. But if you do one or two things, like I tried to raise minimum wage. If you raise minimum wage, you're gonna be overthrown like within a matter of days. You're done, regardless of what your popularity is. You could be at 100 popularity, and you try to raise minimum wage. They will not have it. And you would think that like a communist type party would want minimum wage, but this is not just a communist party. This is a communist authoritarian party. Like their authority, totalitarian. Their authority is totalitarian. Authoritarian, totalitarian, extreme left. That is what we're dealing with here. Okay? So there are certain things you just cannot do. Maybe later on you can. I have a strategy actually for manipulating the system though, and hopefully the 2017 add-on will help me with it, but we'll see. General country overview to start. People's Republic is the government. There are elections, there are parliamentary elections, but Parliament has no power. They're just a consultatory body. Population is 25 0.1 million, a very small GDP of 29 billion. A little bit of growth to start, a lot of unemployment, very little inflation. So not bad economically, actually. Not too bad. I mean, small. But as far as like economic health, other than the unemployment, which we're going to take care of. Here's the budget. We have a deficit of only 110 million, so that's not bad. Total income of 4.4 billion. Public debt is 15.9 billion. I think I'll actually be able to pay that off. Hopefully, if I can, not get overthrown, I should be able to pay that off. So, not the worst economy. I mean, pretty bad economy as far as GDP is compared to like, the size of the country. But I thought it was going to be a lot worse, actually. So, first couple steps I am going to do. Back to my strategy. My initial strategy is going to involve this terrorist group here, the North Korean Democratic Action, and I'm going to actually infiltrate them right away. And I was able to, in the playthroughs, I was able to infiltrate them and force them to become a political party. And I think that might be the key here. Or at least that's what I'm banking on as the key. I only played through a couple months, but I was able to get them to become a political party. That would create an opposition party. And I think an opposition party might be able to weaken the sort of stranglehold that the Radical Red League has. And maybe I'll be less likely to get overthrown, and maybe I can get some of these other ideas out. Again, the elections are going to be in 2019, so I'm hoping that I can infiltrate the North Korean Democratic League, force them to become a political party, and then get them some votes maybe. Right now there are civil rights are very bad. If we go to the this is the level of democracy in North Korea. We're 174th out of 175 countries. Saudi Arabia is the only one that has a worse level of democracy, so that is pretty bad. There are not a lot of democratic institutions that exist in North Korea. Human rights the other way. The other human right is the freedom of the press, and freedom of the press is pretty bad as well. We're 163 out of 175. I guess not as bad as the level of democracy, but you can see it's blue, and we're going to hopefully try to change that, but I think that might take a while. Level of democracy, I think I can take some steps to change. It's red, radical red so far, and I want to change that. So this is going to be free and democratic North Korea. We're going to try to create a free and democratic North Korean government, and I also have to try to maintain a good economy. One way to maintain a good economy is going to be to actually deal with the United States. It does allow you to deal with the United States. You can make a deal. So I'm going to make a trade deal with the United States right off the bat. I did, there are actually some pretty good surpluses that North Korea has. They have a surplus in, they have a huge surplus in coal, which I am not going to do. Selling the Americans coal did great for the economy. It exploded the economy. I think I got it up to like 40 billion, and without even raising taxes, my tax revenue went up to like a $2 billion surplus, which gave me tons of money, but it also blew up the inflation. And again, inflation is one of those side effects of growth, and you got to watch out for the whole inflation number. My inflation was starting to get out of control, and the you're limited with your inflationary control measures. You can obviously adjust the interest rates, but you can't raise minimum wage. I think I was able to raise the wages of the government employees, but minimum wage, again, you try that and you're going to get overthrown in this game in North Korea. So no raising minimum wage in North Korea. So I'm going to make a deal with the United States. I'm not going to do coal. I'm going to do something smaller. There's a lot of different surpluses. Like I said, we've got cereal, we've got cotton, electrical materials, electrical components, fish, iron. I think I might do iron, actually. Maize. I think I'm going to try iron. And then there's also wood, which I'm going to try to sell to Japan. So I'm going to try to make trade deals with the United States and Japan to try to sell things, and they're basically going to be my two markets in the game, because they let me sell to the United States. I assume they're going to let me sell to Japan too. Hopefully that'll improve relations and lower tensions. I'm also going to make deals with Russia and China in order to buy goods, and I think maybe by making deals with Russia and China, I might be able to... I have pretty good relations with China, and there are some countries around the world that I do have pretty good relations with. Iran, Belarus. I might try to get into some of those organizations, those international organizations that I was looking at in the Angolan series, like the Chinese communique, or the Shanghai communique, I think it was. Shanghai communique? Or that Russian security agreement. If I can get into a couple of those, it might, one, protect me with security, as well as improve my economy. If I can get into some of these trade agreements, I think that might really help to improve North Korea's economy. But I think the biggest challenge is, I don't think improving the economy is going to be a difficult thing. I think maintaining low inflation is going to be the most difficult thing, and I'm probably going to have to do that mostly with interest rates. Right now we started at a 2.3 interest rate, so we got a lot of room there. And then I'm going to have to probably work with civil servants. I could also make trade deals buying stuff from Russia. I just got to make sure I don't make too big of a sale to Japan or the United States. I got to make sure I don't get too greedy, basically. One military goal, geopolitical goal, could be to unite the peninsula. Right now, South Korea has a population twice the size of ours and a GDP that blows us out of the water. So, I'm not ready to challenge them right away. It'll be a while before I challenge them. Their army is actually twice the size of mine. I thought North Korea had a much bigger army than that. Maybe the game's not being as generous to them. There might be a big reserve, actually. That is not included in that number. Our reserve is 600,000. That's pretty big. Yeah, so that puts us at almost about 1 million. That sounds about what I would think with North Korea's actual army size. Alright, so we're going to buy from China, buy from Russia, sell to Japan, sell to the United States. Hopefully work to improve our opinion of, the country's opinion of us. One thing I could do is lower the sales tax. That would also stimulate the economy and probably add more inflation, but a lot of people seem to like that. I could go company turnover tax, which does bring in a lot. Industry doesn't like it, of course. It doesn't do great things for popularity, but it does do great things for our budget. But I'm going to try to stay away from taxing companies, actually. There was like a wealth flight issue that seemed to be coming up in the game, and I don't want to chase wealthy people out. So I don't want to add the large fortune tax. That's not really worth it, really. I might even get rid of that. I might be even cutting more taxes than I'm raising in this game. Again, I gotta watch out for inflation. But the inheritance tax is one that I might be able to snag right away. As far as organizations, I know none of them actually, they don't actually have any power in the game right now. But one of the first steps that I'm gonna do, especially to right now associations are dependent from the state. I think it's supposed to be dependent on the state, but I think what I'm going to do, one of the early steps is going to be to make the associations tolerated and monitored. Eventually I'd like to get them to be absolutely or completely free, but we'll start with that. If I can get that before the election, then maybe that can mix things up a little bit and try to get that other party involved, the one that I'm going to create after I infiltrate them, after I infiltrate the terrorist group. Also, unions. There's only one union right now, one labor union. I end up having pretty good relations with him eventually in the game, in the playthrough, but I will actually have to break this up a little bit too. I think that might also help to creating a democracy as well. One of the first steps I am going to do, however, right away, you got to be very careful with this game. You got to be, when you're playing as North Korea, if you want to make it a democracy, you got to take like baby steps, little things, here and there to improve the situation. One of the first things I think I'm going to actually do has to do with the level of ID checks. This could lead to a little bit more freedom. Right now it's strong. I'm just going to make it average. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pass this one. Or pass a decree. I don't need to get anything approved through Congress. It just has to pass. But actually going in and looking at the polls does help, because some things Congress is really opposed to, and the things that Congress seems to be really opposed to, like I'll go into some taxes here if I can find that legislation on, let's see, creation of a tax. I think they're really opposed to an income tax. Oh, I can't pull an income tax. Gotta go out of here. They're probably really opposed to this financial transaction. I actually didn't look at this at all. Pull here. Oh, they're actually for that. Wow. But that's not really a lot of money. I'm going to cancel that. Okay, so there are certain things that Congress is really opposed to. And if you try to pass one of those things, like, okay, I'll show you one. For example, the one thing that will always kill you if you try to do it, regardless of what the situation is. If you go into work and you try to raise that minimum wage, that is a no-go. Okay, you can pull right here. I'll pull Parliament's position and the people's position just to show you I am doing a campaign. They're really against it, all right? They're really red. And this is a no-go. They do not want to see the minimum wage go up at all. So that is a no-go. Job allowance seekers actually is not bad, and I might actually do this 95%. That's actually, they're really for it. So again, it doesn't matter for getting the law passed, but to prevent you from being overthrown, it does matter. And I think some of them will have like their 52% against. I saw like a lot of like 52.3% against or something like that. Whenever it's like that, you can probably get it through, especially if the people like it. So that's something you need to consider when you're playing as North Korea, I believe. And we're going to try to continue through this. So first step we're going to try to do actually is get this Secret Service up and running. I'm going to try to fully fund them with agent training, fighting against terrorism, counterintelligence. We want cryptography, political espionage. That puts us at about 8 million. I'm going to go ahead and bump that up. Let's do industrial espionage too. Ooh, 10. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and bump that up. That'll bump us up to a $120 million deficit. Not bad. I like to have all that stuff fully funded because you get a lot. That's like your wild card in the game, kind of having the Secret Service here. You can do a lot with the Secret Service, and they can help you. They're one of the most decisive tools you can use, I think, in the game. So they are very valuable to have. And to pay for it, like I said, I think I might go ahead. I probably could get that financial transaction tax in there. I was surprised at that one, but also the inheritance tax seems to be, that might help pay for it, really. If I can get, that would be enough to cover it. And I'm just going to pull on it real quick just to see what we have here. A lot of support, tons of support there. Let's go ahead. Old people aren't going to like it, but that will go ahead and cover our Secret Service expenses. Let's see how much time has gone by here. About 20 minutes. In the next episode, I'll probably get into trade deals with Japan, the United States, and China and Russia. We can actually meet with the Chinese and the Russians. They will agree to a meeting, so let's go ahead and get that meeting request here. One of the things also that you have to worry about right away with North Korea is there is a food crisis, so we're going to try to buy as much food as possible from the Chinese. Some of the negotiating is going to be difficult. I'm going to have to lowball them on a lot of things that I'm buying. But you have like 3 or 4 exchanges before it becomes too many negotiations with either one of these two. With United States, I only had one, basically. I had to basically lowball them and then take whatever they came back at us with. But it was okay because it was so high of a number. So it does help your economy. I'm assuming the same thing is going to be with Japan. So that's the situation for now. Next steps are going to be to try to free up associations and get some unions here, and hopefully I can get this Democratic Party to surrender soon. This Democratic Action Party to surrender and actually become a political party. Those are the initial steps in the game that we're going to take as North Korea in an attempt to try to make a free and democratic North Korea. Hope you guys enjoy this series. I hope it lasts long. I hope it lasts longer than a couple months, because I tell you, I played a lot of playthroughs, and this series can end really quickly. Just FYI, playing as North Korea is a very difficult one, especially the way I play. So I hope you enjoyed the series. Please like the video if you did. If you did enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to comment, and you can also support me on fan funding until the end of February, and after that, hopefully there'll be a Patreon account in the description below for you to donate to. Thank you again. See you in the next episode.